Hi, everybody. Today I wanted to talk to you about something that I've been doing some research on to share with you. And it's the effects of secondary and third-hand smoke to dogs. And this is something that I'm really passionate about because I'm an asthmatic and I cannot tolerate zero smoke. It's the death of me. And it's the death of me, well, not the death of me, but if I'm outside, like at the beach, this has happened to me, where I'm sitting there, I'm at the beach, and there's somebody far away smoking, and then the wind's blowing towards me. I pick that up right away. I'm very susceptible to it, and it really bothers me. So it started to make me think, the average person is 170 pounds. I'm not going to tell you how much I weigh. And the average dog, it could be a 4-pound teacup. Miss Bella is 14 pounds. We're trying to have her lose a little weight. It could be a 50-pound dog. They're smaller than a human, okay? So everything that they eat or they breathe or they step in and lick is going to affect them more because if you heard of it, their bucket is filled much more quickly, okay? So when the toxins go into a human's bucket, they can tolerate more because their bucket is bigger because they're bigger. But let's say Bella, she's 14 pounds. She has a small bucket. And when these toxins from foods and pesticides and from lawn fertilizer and smoke all go into her bucket is smaller, and it's going to affect her organs exponentially more than a human because she's smaller. So that's why I got on this cut the kibble kick, because there's so many pesticides and food coloring and foods that are just not appropriate for dogs, and meat meal that is not meat. Anyway, I'm going off topic here, but that's why, I'm concerned about the health of all our dogs, because 1 in 2.5 dogs are going to get cancer in their lifetime. And I forgot what the statistic was, but dogs after 10 years old, I think it's 1 in 2 will get cancer. This year alone, 6 million dogs are going to get cancer. There's an epidemic here, and we need to stop it as well as we can. It's our responsibility as pet owners to stop it. And you know me, it's about the food. But I wanted to talk about cigarette smoke. So if you smoke, or if somebody in your home smokes, you're putting your dog at a greater risk to get cancer. Your dog is going to have a higher risk to get allergies, eye infections, respiratory issues, and cancer. But in doing my research, I found out an interesting fact that I wanted to share with you. Depending on the length of the dog's nose, depends on if they have a greater risk of getting cancer. So if your dog has a long nose, like a collie and a lab, they're going to have a greater risk of getting nose cancer, believe it or not, because the nose is acting as a filter and everything is getting stuck in there, all the toxins. And less of the toxins and nicotine is getting to the lungs. So a long-nosed dog would get nose cancer, twice as much likely to get nose cancer. And if your dog has a flat nose, like a pug and a bulldog, they're more likely to get lung cancer because there's nothing here to filter. So all that nicotine is going to go directly deep in the lungs. I found that fascinating. So maybe if you're a smoker or somebody is a smoker in your house, you may want to stop smoking for your pet, and then of course for you. Okay, so that's secondhand smoke, when the dog breathes it in. But what is third-hand smoke? Okay, what that is, when you're smoking, well, I don't smoke, so I don't even want to talk about it. If somebody's smoking in your house, it's going to get on their clothes, it's going to get on the couch, it's going to get on the carpet, okay? So that residue of the nicotine is going to be on your clothes, on the couch, on the carpet, on the dog bed, okay? So what does a dog do? Well, this dog is sitting on me now. Or dogs sit in their dog bed, or they lay on the floor. That's what they do, right? So if you're living with a smoker in the house, they're laying in this residue. It's going directly into their skin, and then they're licking it. Because, dogs lick their hair and whatnot, fur and whatnot. So that's what third-hand smoke is. So that's very dangerous for dogs also. So then there's something called nicotine poisoning. And in addition to the dogs inhaling the nicotine, which we've talked about through the nose, and it goes to the nose or to the lungs, they can eat it by eating a cigarette or a cigarette butt, or drinking nicotine refill liquid, or chewing on nicotine refill canisters of electronic nicotine delivery devices. I don't even know what those words mean, but it's like people go around with those things, like a smoke pipe, whatever. So I'm reading this, I'm sorry, because this is research. Nicotine toxicity that causes death to dogs has been documented at 20 to 100 milligrams. Okay, 20 to 100 milligrams. One cigarette contains 9 to 30 milligrams of nicotine. One cigar contains 15 to 40 milligrams of nicotine. Cigarette butts contain 5 to 7 milligrams of nicotine. Don't you hate when you walk your dog and there's cigarette butts? I mean, how are people brought up? You don't litter. It's disgusting. And cigarette smoke is totally disgusting to me. So if your dog eats one cigarette, more than one cigarette butt, chewing tobacco nicotine refill, you need to get them to the vet right away. And the signs of nicotine poisoning are, I'm going to read you these signs. These are the signs to a lot of different types of poisoning. But anyway, vomiting, unsteadiness, drooling, tiredness, fast heart rate, shaking, weakness, seizures, and death. And this information is also valid for cats and birds, especially for birds, because again, they're so small, okay? So I hope this little YouTube video has enlightened you about the dangers of not only secondary, but third-hand smoke. That's just profound. I mean, our dogs are always on us, and they're breathing it in. I mean, I cannot be in the same room as a person that smokes. Even outside, even if I'm at a stoplight and there's a car behind me smoking and his window is open, I can pick it up with my nose. And we know that the dog's number one sense, the strongest sense, is their nose. So we need to protect our dogs. We need to be the voice of our dogs, okay? Because these are just sweet, innocent creatures that give us unconditional love. So any way we can, we need to protect them with the food that we feed them and the air that they breathe. Because let's face it, cancer, you can get it from the environment. You can get it from drinking water. You can get it from doing everything right also. But let's try to correct the wrong things that we're doing. All right, that's it today from Miss Bella and Paula.